Welcome to Boss Up, Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. The woman you are about to meet, if you don't already know her, is doing all that and so much more. Her name is Alison Vaughn, and she just celebrated 20 years as CEO of Jackets for Jobs, which is a nonprofit, international nonprofit that provides professional etiquette training and professional clothing for job seekers. So beautiful. It gives me chills. So, Allison is also a speaker. She's also a TV host, a show called Ministry for Moms. And she also is very active in the community to help people on a global scale. So, I want you to meet Alison Vaughn. Welcome.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for having me. This is wonderful.
Yes, you are amazing. And you have a book called Ms. Gold Digger,
Yeah,
um,
and
a
you know what? I like
CEO's guide.
to spell it. I
I
like,
love it.
and the reason why I like to spell it is because I like to say, yes, Miss Gold, Goal, and not
Yes,
GOLD, because I want people
right.
to know it's all about goals and setting goals for yourself so you're not to become a gold digger.
I love that. Well, you certainly have set a lot of goals and achieved them, and you're on a mission to help others achieve their goals as well. So, Allison, can you talk about how you got started on this mission of empowerment for others, including women?
Great question. I started this because I used to be a flight attendant, and I used to hire flight attendants, and I was living this wonderful life of flying the friendly skies. And then, my dad died, and I had a half sister, and we had not seen each other in like 20 years. After our dad died, she went her way, I went my way, and then my aunt called and said, "You know what? Your sister wants to see you. She has not seen you since you all's father died." And I was like, "Okay, let's get together." So then I gather all of my pictures up and, going to have this reunion. We meet at my aunt's house. And the first question I asked my sister, I said, "What have you been doing for the last, 20 years or so?" And she said, "I'm dying of cancer." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Well, 6 months later, she died. And so while I was helping with the funeral arrangements, I realized that she was on welfare. And I said, "You know what? I want to be able to do something. I want to be able to give back to women in some sort of way." And so I said, either I'm going to do something to help children that have lost a loved one, or I'm going to do something with cancer patients because she had cancer. And then God said, "No, I want you to help women that are on welfare," because she was a welfare recipient. And so that's really how I started Jackets for Jobs, is to help
Wow.
women get off welfare. And every
Wow.
woman that comes through the door at Jackets for Jobs, I'm reminded of my sister, and being able to help that woman so she can become self-sufficient. She's not relying on a man. She's not sleeping in a car. She's able to take care of her children. And so that's how I birthed the organization. And here it is, we're going into our 21st year of helping women become better, women become self-sufficient, and being able to stand on their own.
That is so beautiful. And you've helped 20,000 people since then, right?
Oh my goodness, Elizabeth, don't shortchange me. 30,000.
Uh-oh, uh-oh,
Yeah,
30,000.
yeah.
30,000 people. That's amazing. And you've expanded to Botswana, Africa.
Yes, exactly. Yes. In 2007, people started saying, "Well, why don't you help men? Men need help also." So TJ Maxx, if everybody's heard of TJ Maxx, their, wonderful off-brand designer clothing store, they called and said, "We love what you're doing. We love the workforce development you're doing. And we would like to fly in," because they're headquartered in Boston. And they said, "We want to come in and see your program and see what you're doing regarding helping, empowering women." And I said, "Well, yeah, this is what we're doing." And I said, "But people keep telling us we need to help men." So they gave us a grant and funding and support. And so in 2007, we started helping men. And so, yes, so here it is. So that's why I say we've really expanded. So I don't want to forget those men that we've helped. So it's really like 30,000 people that we've helped.
Oh my gosh, I was going by your website, so pardon
Yeah.
me, but
Oh, no.
$30,000 is 30,000 people is extraordinary. And you help children too?
We help the children of the moms, yes, because the women that come to us are welfare recipients. So we're always doing things like coat giveaway, working with other
Oh.
food banks to help the children with food. So yeah, it's a well-rounded program, and we're part of the City of Detroit's workforce development. So we're all about helping people get a job and retain a job. So it's been a labor of love, and I look back, I enjoy the friendly skies, but I'm serving people in a different capacity.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And the way it began is just so heart inspiring for me. Thank you so much for that, Allison. Can you talk about how that evolved into you speaking and sharing messages of empowerment for nonprofits and corporations?
Oh, yes. So many people started saying, wow, what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I love how you're doing empowerment. I love the mission of what you're doing. So, can you can you speak here? Can you speak there? And then they were like, tell me about how to start a nonprofit, how to be an entrepreneur. And, there's so many people that work in corporate America that say, you know what, I've always had this vision of being an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to do something on my own, but I'm afraid to leave corporate America. Tell me how to do that. So I started getting more and more people requesting all of these type of speaking engagements. And so that's how I end up having that platform.
I absolutely love that. And then from that evolved a book where you can share all your philosophies, accomplishments, and wisdom. So, can you talk about the evolution of Ms. Gold Digger? I love that.
I always have to laugh with that. Well, even I have to laugh at myself on that title. I start with the title of this, Miss Gold Digger, GOAL, is because many of the clients that were coming to Jackets for Jobs, many of them did not have goals. They didn't have direction. They didn't have a mentor. They were just kind of going through life, just kind of going through the motion. And I said, I want to write a book to help them have some goals, have some directions, have a vision board and write down your goals and your dreams and aspirations and put that vision board in front of you where you can see it. And
Mhm.
I talk about how to have a mentor because I think it's so important to have some sort of mentor to help guide you. I mean, having a mentor can really save you a lot of steps. You can
Mm.
go A, B, C, D, but if you have a mentor, they can help you go from A to, the letter F, just like that. And so
Uh-huh.
I talk about that. I talk about words of wisdom. I have a lot of different things like how to stand out in a crowd, how to be a stiletto in a room full of flats. So, I talk about so many different things in the book. And it's just because of the people that my clients, the people that I've been working with throughout the years, helping them have goals and realize those goals and make those dreams become a reality.
I love that so much. That's amazing. And then, Allison, can you also talk about how you started a TV show that's very relevant to the pandemic right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, we're all like caved in and, we're in our homes every day. We can't really go out and do much. And so I'm sure just like you, we're having more time to sit back and reflect. You think about things that are so important to you, what really matters. And then a lot of people were getting laid off because of the pandemic. A lot of people were having to reevaluate, their job, their goals, and so forth. And so I said, they need a little word of inspiration. Because if they're like me, I'm a mom and I'm trying to do homeschooling, I'm trying to do work, I'm trying to, make sure my family members are okay, nobody's catching COVID. If they do, different things that I can do to help. So much was going on in my mind while I was sitting home. And I said, you know what? If anybody's like me, which I'm sure they are, they need a word of wisdom. They need some prayer. Just a word from the Lord, because just one word from the Lord can just totally change your life. And if you
Yes, yes.
pray and have a relationship and have some sort of inspiration, some sort of pick me up,
Hmm.
that will help. And so I started a TV show. It's called the Alison Vaughn Show,
Hmm.
a ministry for busy moms, and it's on every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Daily Gospel Network.
Oh,
And so
beautiful.
you can find the Daily Gospel Network on Apple TV, Roku, Facebook. It's on a lot of different platforms. And
Hmm.
so you can check me out. And then you can also go to my website, AlisonVaughn.com. And then I have all of the shows on the website as well. So it's just
Okay.
a show for inspiration, helping busy moms. We just talk about so many different things: how to be a
Mm.
virtuous woman. Do you believe in miracles? Who's your best friend? Is your best friend a godly person? That best friend, do they mirror what you're doing? Do they help you? Do you help them? So a lot of great topics.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch that. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. Allison, I'm so impressed by how faith is your foundation. Can you
yes.
talk about how your faith guides your mission?
Everything I do, I'm guided by faith. The one thing that I thank my mom for is introducing me to God. So there, at a very early age, I went to a Catholic school. I got very active in the church, and so church spiritual foundation is so important, and that's what I'm guided by, and that's what prompted me to leave corporate America and start Jackets for Jobs. Is because I took a leap of faith. I mean, because it's not a lot of people that would do that. They work in corporate America, but they're so afraid to branch out because that's their, umbilical cord. Like, I don't want to leave corporate America. I'm used to getting a check every week.
Right.
I'm used to, this or that. But I really want to, start my own bakery. I really want to start my own daycare, whatever it is. But they're afraid to just
Mhm.
do that. So I prayed
Mhm.
about it. So yes, having that spirituality, having God guide me is so important. And I always say there's a such thing as a good idea and a God idea. And so you can kind of tell the difference between the two. And so if it's a God idea, God will guide you and he will guide your steps. And God won't lead you where he can't keep you.
Wow, that's amazing. And when you left corporate America, Allison, 20 years ago, it wasn't so vogue to be an entrepreneur, whereas now everyone's trying to be an entrepreneur, especially since the pandemic has shifted the workplace so dramatically. So, what's your advice to anyone out there, especially women who are trying to juggle the homeschooling, the working from home, and they want to start a business?
Yeah, it's really, really hard. Like you made a good point. 20 years ago, it was really, everybody was just working in corporate America and then they branched out. So that's why it was really hard starting off because I didn't have any examples. I didn't know anyone that was an entrepreneur to really help me. And so I was actually literally going to the library because Google had just started like 20 years ago, but it wasn't like it is now. So I had to physically go into a library and do the research and sit and open up books. Now you can do everything on your cell phone. But my advice would be find, just like if you watch Shark Tank. Shark Tank is my favorite TV show.
Oh.
And just like they always say, people coming to pitch an idea, whatever you're going to do as an entrepreneur, make sure your product is serving a need. And so that's how Jackets for Jobs has sustained itself for 20 years, is because I saw a problem and then created I saw a problem and then I created a solution for the problem.
Mhm.
I realized that people had a barrier to employment, which was, clothing, childcare, transportation, or all these things that people don't get a job. So I always say, whatever your product is, does it solve a need? And if it solves a need, then you've got a product, then you have something that can go into the market.
Wow. And then how did you get the word out at first? Was that difficult about your company?
You know, yes, and well, actually not, because when I started in 2002, I happened to be a guest on the Oprah show.
Oh.
Yes, and so I think that national attention um spearheaded that was like 2 years into it. And so after that, and then a couple years later, I was on the Today Show,
Mhm.
and then I was on The View. And I think because of all of these national TV shows, it put a spotlight on our organization, and
Mhm.
that's how the word got out. And when people are like, oh, I remember when you were on the Today Show at Al Roker, I remember when The View did this, and I remember
Mhm.
you were on Oprah. So I think that national attention, that national media press really helped the organization. And I
Mhm.
think that goes back to saying that I had a God idea and God opened those doors, and that was all God. So God is my publicist. you God is my publicist. I have to give God credit for
Oh, I
everything.
love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, what is your spiritual practice like? Like, so for example, you get an idea and you want to decide if it's a God idea or not. Um, what do you do? Do you go sit alone and pray? Do you go to church? What's your process?
My process is I journal. I
Mm-hmm.
love to journal. I think
Mm-hmm.
journaling is very therapeutic. I like to remember, and I have a bad memory, so I have to write things down. So journaling helps write things down, and you can remember what happened, last week, last month, last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of journaling, and I meditate. I go to church. But I just listen. See, when you have a relationship with God, you're able to hear him all the time. But if you
Yes.
don't really have a relationship with the Lord, he could be talking to you, but you might not really hear, or you're not in tune. So I think because I'm in tune to God's voice and I hear him, that helps my spirituality.
Yes.
And just staying in the word. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just so important. People are like, oh, read the Bible, but do people really sit and just read the Bible? Or do people really sit and listen? Like, I think that was God talking, because he talks to us all the time. It's just a
Right.
matter if we really listen or hear him.
Right, right. So I like to liken it, Allison, to when you go to the gym and you work your muscles, they get stronger and stronger when you work out every day. Whereas when you stay in tune with God and spirituality on a daily basis through practices such as prayer, meditation, journaling, and such, you keep a clear frequency open. That connection is open, and therefore it's two-way communication. It's not, oh, please, please, please. It's, oh, I got this guidance and now I know this is ordained. I can do this. It's going to be blessed and get me on Oprah and it's going to get me on the Today Show. And that's what really, really happens. But we have to be obedient to that guidance. And it's so easy to just go with the human temptation and ignore it.
That is
And
so true. That's a very good analogy, and I like that analogy. And I love the fact that you were talking about working out, because I know that you work out and you're a health person. So that was a great analogy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, this is the physical vessel that we carry the spirit in. So we have to take care of the vessel so we can do the spirit work. And you're doing it on so many different platforms, Allison. Is there anything else that you're doing that we haven't touched on?
Oh, you know what? Right now, that's enough. I have my plate full. That's enough. Jackets for Jobs, the book Miss Gold Digger, and the TV show for Ministry for Busy Moms. That keeps me so busy. So I'm learning, like most women try to do, use the word no. And so because my plate is so full, I'm learning to say no, and no is a complete sentence. And so a lot of times when people say, can you do this? Can you go here? Can you, whatever? I'm learning to be able to say, thanks for the invitation, or thanks for this, but at this time I'm going to have to pass, or, let me revisit that another time.
Hmm.
Before I was, just trying to open up and, do so many things. And then you get burnt out,
Yes.
and so I just say no. So now I
Hmm.
feel comfortable. If I say no, I don't feel bad. A
Oh,
lot of
good.
times as women, we feel bad. We feel guilty by saying
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Sometimes we want to just be a people pleaser, to please somebody, to say, oh, sure, I'll come to that, your Zoom jewelry party, or sure, I'll come to this meeting. And especially now with the pandemic, everybody's at home, and they figure that because you're home, you can attend all these different Zoom meetings. And I'm like, I'm burnt out of all these Zoom things. So
Yeah.
I have to just say no.
That is such wise wisdom, wise wisdom. That's redundant, but it's double the double the message because we all need to hear that. That is so
Mhm.
important to be able to say no. And you said no is a complete sentence.
Yes, it is.
Whoa, I love it. I love it. So for anybody watching, Allison, are you taking donations of clothing or how can we all help you?
Um, right now, we're not taking any donations because just 2 weeks ago, Martin Luther King Day, we had a big event in conjunction with the Biden administration inauguration,
Hmm.
where charities across the country in support of MLK Day and in support of the inauguration had a day. So on that day, Jackets for Jobs, we took in toiletries and hygiene products to help the homeless and help job seekers. And we just received so many donations. So right now we have to go through all of that. We're fully stocked. And so we'll be taking donations again, probably the beginning of March.
Okay.
So probably, well, tomorrow is what, the first. So yeah, in about a month, we'll start taking donations again, because we have to go through all that we just received on MLK Day.
Oh, that's amazing. What a blessing.
So that's a good problem to have. Yes.
Yes.
So, so we're not taking any clothing or hygiene products or anything like that, but we're always open to financial support. So if anyone wants to donate, they can always go to our website and go to the donate button in that way. And then we'll be opening it up in the spring for more volunteers to start. Because we used to have so many volunteers, but due to the pandemic, we've had to, be very cautious and not have people come in and out due to the pandemic. But we will, once people start getting vaccinated and things get back to normal, we'll get back to our volunteerism.
Okay, beautiful. And if people, I'll put the link to your website in the description box here, so anybody who wants to get in touch with you can go there. That's
Oh,
wonderful.
wonderful.
hmm
Yes.
So when you talk about etiquette training to prepare people for the workforce, what does that entail, Allison?
Oh, we have a great training. And I'm so pleased to say that we have just been honored as one of the best and brightest companies to work for in Detroit and in the
Oh,
nation. So
congratulations.
thank you. Yes, we have such a wonderful staff and they do a wonderful job with our training. And so now our training is virtual because we used to have clients come in and we would do group training as well as one-on-one training. And it's soft skill training, etiquette, looking professional, how to put your best foot forward, how to look presentable, how to dress appropriate, how to have the appropriate hairstyle, self-confidence training. And so now it's all online and we have a nice video with the City of Detroit's workforce, Detroit at Work. So if people are registered with Detroit at Works, they'll be able to see our video. And then they can also go to jacketsforjobs.org, and we have a lot of videos on our website as well.
Wow. So that's a mission in your book. So everything you do sort of cross-pollinates. Why is it so important to have the proper etiquette of how to shake a hand, how to look someone in the eye, how to sit with the right posture, how to address people, how to look the part?
Well, everyone wants to hire someone that is self-confidence. When a company is hiring you, they're hiring you and you're representing that company. So you want to have the strong candidate, someone that feels good about themselves. Because if they feel good about themselves, they're going to feel good about, representing the company, and
Mhm.
which leads to sales, which leads to profitability. And so you want to have that best candidate. That's why competition is so stiff, because everybody's looking for the cream of the crop. And so you have to come with your A game. And so that's what
Mm.
we're teaching people. Make sure you look them in the eye, and we can't really say that firm handshake now because of the pandemic. You're not shaking people's hand, but you
Right.
want to have that good posture when you're doing that Zoom interview, or
Mhm.
even if you go in person for that interview. Whatever you can do, you just have to show that self-confidence, show that you are capable, because once you leave the table, once you leave that Zoom, there's another person behind you that they're going to interview, and you have to be able to do something that's going to stand out, besides the other candidates.
Wow, that's really powerful and so important. And if nobody teaches you, you just don't know.
You just don't know. That's right.
Mhm.
And certain
Mhm.
colors, I talk about colors, like, we were talking about the color blue. Blue is the most popular and the most recognized color to wear for a job interview, because blue represents loyalty and
Oh.
something subliminal about the color blue. And like you'll see your presidential, remember when the presidential candidates were they wore blue. You'll see the president wearing blue a lot. You'll see news reporters, because they have to look confident delivering the news and be convincing. So blue is always a very good color to wear for a job interview.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I talk about different things of that nature.
That's wonderful. I love that. Allison, as an entrepreneur, one challenge that we face is being organized and blocking our time and using our time management skills to the max to have the most productivity, creativity, focus, and prosperity. Do you have any tips for other women entrepreneurs on how to manage our time and stay organized?
Oh my goodness. Okay, here's a tip that I just talked about just yesterday with someone, and it has to do with the pandemic. So, and this is really helpful for me, and so I wanted to share this because I have a daughter, and so everybody's familiar with the stoplight: red, yellow, green. And so you either need to get red, yellow, green construction paper, or either a white piece of paper and color red, yellow, and green. And what you do is, when you have a meeting or a Zoom, or wherever your office space is. And if you're in a meeting or a Zoom like how I am now, I'll put up a um, red construction paper outside of my office. That way, my family members know, do not come in because I see red. If I'm able to talk, or I'm busy, but I'm able to talk, then I'll put up a yellow construction paper, like you can come in my office, but make it quick because there's yellow. Or I'm not busy at all, so there's the green. So come on in. So get those three colors, put them outside of your office or
Oh,
your
wow.
workspace. And then when they see those three colors, they'll know either to come in or not, or she's a little busy, but I can ask a quick question. And so you do that, and it kind of organizes, and you don't have people bothering you, because sometimes you're on a deadline, and it's kind of like in a TV studio. If you see that red light in the TV studio and it says, we're in session or recording, don't enter. And so you
Mhm.
kind of do that at home, because we all have our little home office
Right.
or either our bedroom. And so if you
Uh-huh.
put the red or the yellow or the green,
Mhm.
your family members will know either they can come in, they can't come in, or make it go quick.
I love that. That's really pardon?
It's something different, but it'll work. Try it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I'm always looking for new ways to stay organized and manage my time and really focus because it's so easy to get distracted and
Distracted.
and scattered, and then you don't accomplish anything.
Oh my goodness. And well, that's why I like to write lists. I'm a list person because one, two, three, four, five, six, whatever I have to do, because my mother always taught me, do all that you can today, because tomorrow is going to have a whole nother set of issues. And so writing a list is very important to me. And a good example, how many times have you gone to the grocery store, you go in there for one thing and then you walk out with 20 other things,
Mhm.
or either you go in for one thing and you don't even pick up the thing you went in there for because you get other things. But if you write a list, you're like, okay, I'm going to buy milk and bread and some cheese. And the next thing you know, you're buying washing powder, you're buying cookies, you're buying all of that. But if you have a list, it helps you stay organized.
Mhm, mhm.
And
Yes. So, Allison, there's a common theme throughout everything you're saying that's so powerful, and it's about boundaries. You set a boundary with your physical workspace, you set boundaries in saying no, and you set boundaries with your list. But how did you come to that? Because a lot of times it's very difficult to set boundaries to manage and create balance in your life as a busy mom, entrepreneur, and all that you do.
I think because probably back in the day, I got burnt out somehow.
Oh.
I probably was putting too much on my plate by telling, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do that. And then I just started getting drained and burned out. And then that's when I said, I'll have to say no. Or
Mm.
either spending too much money, going to the grocery store, not having a list, and buying all this stuff. And then I realized, oh my God, I've spent all this money and I didn't mean to spend this much money when I went into Target.
Right.
And so, so it's like these boundaries, I think, have happened because of bad things in the past. And you just, after a while, you just kind of learn.
Mhm, mhm. Well, you certainly have shared a lot of lessons tonight. I'm so grateful to talk with you, Allison. You're just this wellspring of knowledge and wisdom.
No, I never even thought about the boundaries until you mentioned it. Wow, I never looked at it like that. But thanks for, sharing that. So this is kind of a therapy for me.
I love it. I'm always trying to learn from wise women like you. And I'm going to put links to your book as well as your company, Jackets
Thank
for
you.
Jobs, here in the description box so anybody can learn more about you, order your book, invite you to speak. Um,
Wonderful.
yeah, what are some of the topics that you like to speak about?
The topics that I like to speak about probably would be things that are related to my book, Miss Gold Digger. And
Mhm,
so it's a guide to goal setting, dressing the part, having it all, how
mhm,
to network. So
mhm.
things that are in my book, I like to talk about goals
Okay,
and networking, and
okay.
also how to be an entrepreneur.
Oh, well, we all need that. That's so, so, so powerful. Being an entrepreneur is like a 48-hour day job.
Yes, it truly is. People don't realize that. They think, oh, I'm going to be my own boss, but you actually work harder than if you work for a company. Trust me, it is
Oh
not
my
a nine
gosh.
to five. It is not a nine to five at all. It's
It's
24
not.
7.
It's not. And social media shows all these images of people like in tropical vacations with their laptop. No.
True. That's
But
how.
the rewards and the impact that you're having on a global scale as a result, and helping 30,000 people going strong with many more, and getting donations to the point that you don't need any donations right now, that's just remarkable, Allison. I'm so amazed and so proud of you that you're part of our community and our world. You're doing amazing things.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
You're welcome. It's true. It's true. You serve as an excellent example of what can be done when you follow your God vision and rely on faith and that two-way communication for the guidance and stay obedient to it and do things with an altruistic mission to help others. Doors open, gifts are given. It's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I admire you so much, Allison.
Oh my goodness. No, I admire you. That's why I was looking forward to this. I was like, oh, good. I'm going to talk to Elizabeth today. Yes, yes. Just a girl talk, just a girl conversation. And we're just letting everybody else listen to what we have to say. You
That's
know,
right.
so that's what makes it wonderful because we're just like two girls just talking and chatting away.
I love that. That's the mission of my show, Boss Up Goddess, because we all have so much knowledge and experience, and we have to share it with each other to uplift and inspire and allow others to follow in our footsteps.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Because we're trailblazers in our own right, and we've blazed trails and we need to show the way.
Right, exactly. And I
Hmm.
mean, look at all that you've done. I mean, being a writer and you have these shows and we were talking about Oprah earlier. You've been on Oprah also.
Hmm.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, you have so much going on. You're a dynamic and you're a boss and so forth. You know what I mean? So you've got it going on.
Thank you, Allison.
Yeah,
Well, to whom much is given, much is required and expected, and we're all obligated to do our part. So,
thanks. Yeah.
yes, thank you, Alison Vaughn, CEO, Jackets for Jobs, speaker, author, TV host, dynamic woman, beautiful part of our community, contributor, uplifting us all. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And thank you, all of you, for joining us tonight on Boss Up Goddess, where you got to meet Alison Vaughn, sharing her wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let us know if you have any questions for Alison Vaughn. You can find her information in the description box, and please do contact her, read her book, invite her to speak, and visit Jackets for Jobs so you can learn all about her mission. Thank you again, and remember, boss up, goddess, you have the power. I'll see you next time.